Hello everyone, Delta One here. I am on the phone again. I am still waiting on my replacement action camera, but it still has not come yet. But still waiting on it. I was waiting to see if that car would get into. This is a weird road. Like, all this road, only that part of the lane is actually for going that way, and people will get in this lane and assume that it's they're supposed to be in the middle, but they're supposed to be on the far right. So if you come down the road in the complete middle, they freak out and like blow their horn and flash their lights at you, but they're the one that's in the wrong lane. Like, I mean, the lane literally follows the crease in the road. By request, I've had a couple of people actually ask me this, but I was actually hoping I could wait until I actually got my better camera instead of doing it like this. But I figured it was probably something that actually wanted to be known quickly. Well, quicker than the time I've been trying to wait for it. I was asked if I'd make a video on explaining the water line for people that want to buy vehicles that have been flooded. The best and quickest there's a school bus somewhere over there. The best and easiest way to explain a water line is that a water line only tells you where the water could have been. It doesn't tell you exactly how high it went, because you have debris there, but that debris is more than likely just where the water, it started going down and where stuff started to stick. A true water line that is going to tell you where the water is going to be like damage, actual physical water damage, not actually the debris line, but actually the water actual transition. And what I mean by that is, on my truck, the water was up to like the windshield. It was at least this high above this, because all of my electronics had to be replaced from the hood down. And here's the thing. Underneath my truck, I don't know, you might not be able to see it. Underneath my truck, you have these dashboard brackets that hold your dashboard in. That is a great indication of where they are. I didn't pull my truck up. All right. See how that's corrosion from the water being high. This is supposed to be either zinc, stainless, or whatever the manufacturer wants to put it in. But as you can see, there's complete corrosion on all of that. So that tells me that the water, even though my vehicle only had debris up to here, I only had debris up to here, but I have water damage all the way up to here. And when I pulled the dash off of the, if I can get this in by one hand, I cannot. I know what we're doing later today. But when I pulled the dash, I had, I'll show you under the hood, but I had what's under the hood all behind all of this. I had behind these door panels all the way up what was in the hood. Something that you really can't tell by a water line is just how bad of the water level got. Because a water level doesn't tell you exactly what's wrong with the car. It just tells you how high it got. I really wish I would have made this before I actually did the work on it. Because by now, most of that's actually gone. I mean, if I pull this here is supposed to be black. So with this, my water line was at least above the bracket, because that is not supposed to be there. Compared to the rest of the plastics on the truck, clearly, that's a lot more excessive than anything else in the truck. And it's behind this. If I pull this grill off, all of that looks what's behind there. All of this, that's water from it raining last night from me opening the hood. But all of this, yeah, I haven't bothered to clean that because where I live and where I drive, it's going to come back. So I haven't bothered trying to clean it. So that's one of the only reasons why I can even see that. And one of the biggest reasons why I want to say that don't just go by the water line. And what I say by that, I don't mean don't look at the water line and go, it's probably lower than that. Look at the water line and think that it's probably higher than what the water line is. Because this truck showed a water line. I had a water line showing that only this far of the water truck was underwater. That's all. But when I actually pulled the dash, I had water up to here. And then when I pulled the when I went to go replace the wire harness inside the truck, this major wire harness here that goes down and through the firewall, and I had to go further behind it, and my body control module, the body control module for these trucks mount here, way up here behind the dash. Like there's your dash, your body control module is like somewhere right here. This body control module was completely corroded all the way up. So that tells me now that my water level was at least to the windshield. Well, if you take that water line and go across, that's the entire engine. Now, keep in mind, everything from here all the way down to here was not visible on the outside of the truck. And the truck had not been washed to actually hide the water line. There was actually a water line on the truck to show where it was in the pictures. I'll probably do another video with my action camera. That way I can actually add the pictures in of my truck and do a voiceover with it probably. But I had a water line that visually, by going off of just pictures, showed my water line was, again, only at this crease. Well, after pulling the first part of the dash to just pull the electronics, I have a water line up to the F-150, the Ram 1500 sign. Well, pulling the body control module, I am now up to the windshield. And once you get underneath the hood, it clearly shows that, okay, there has been water underneath. That ABS module is about here. It's above the water line for what was marked on the truck, and that had corrosion in it. I had to replace the wire harness that goes right there, and it's way up here. The computer had water in it, had to replace the computer, and it's right here. When I pulled the truck apart, when I pulled the heads off the truck, I'll see if I still have it, I will actually put those pictures in there too, where I pulled the valve covers and I pulled the heads off of it. But I don't think I took pictures of it where it had sticks and leaves inside the valve body of the heads. So there was water all inside of that. There's no visible water that was on the throttle body, but you had all kinds of water and debris inside the valve train. But the water line did not show any water near the actual engine, only to the side of the truck up to like midway of the axle. So hopefully I can actually get the video out soon after this one. That way I can actually show pictures of, I think if I can actually show pictures of my entire build from getting the truck and everything. And it'll also show you in those pictures just how, I'll show you pictures of what the truck looked like when I bidded on it. And I need a haircut. Jesus Christ. But I'll also show you the pictures of what it looked like when I bidded on it. And I'll show you the pictures of what it looked like when I got it. And the pictures of what it looked like when I was when I was taking it apart. And you'll see just how much you can't just go by what it looks like when it comes on arrival. Because like I said, in the pictures, there was no major dirt or anything on the vehicle, except the water line that was marked on there. That was it. But when the truck arrived, it had dust, dirt, and debris from the water line that it was marked all the way up to the roof of the truck. That's how bad it was. And then when I pulled the seats and everything out, I had water, everything. Not to mention, these trucks are notorious for having the rear third brake light leak water inside of them. Which I almost failed my first inspection to have this truck inspected because of that third brake light. Because this was a flooded truck. So when I got the truck all cleaned out, carpeted clean, carpeted dried, seats back in it, and it rained the day before the inspection, and I had water in the floorboard again of the rear of the truck. So I had to fight to get that out, find out that it was the third brake light. I had to silicone the brake light, which is actually what you have in the service bulletin, to silicone the brake light to be able to get that done so I can have the truck inspected. If it wasn't a flood truck, it wouldn't have been a problem, but because it was a flooded truck, I actually had to make sure there was no water inside of the cab, or anywhere for that matter. But it all turned out well. I think it's 2 years now. It's going on 2 years. I think on the 23rd of this month of November that I will have owned this truck for 2 years. But I've been driving it for about a year and 6 months, 7 months maybe. And I still choose it as my daily driver over my Pathfinder. So that just tells you how reliable it's been since that time. And I'm almost racked up 10,000 miles on it. Of course, I've changed the oil on it like maybe 8 times. And I think, actually, I'll go over the oil I used again and how often I changed the oils in it when I was getting it done when I do the next video with the better action camera. Because I have to find those pictures again. I have some of them on my phone, but I'll have to find them. Because I think I have them saved. Actually, I know I have them saved. I just got to put them in order because they're not all in order for it. But I'll also tell you a couple funny stories I had when I was working on the truck because I couldn't figure out what the problem was, and it was something really, really stupid. But anyway, peace.